Hey, good evening. This is the third podcast. My name is Amber Limser. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my fifth grade students and their environment and that they're working in a choice-based art education atmosphere. My fifth grade students are learning about culture, and we're doing art projects about our culture and other cultures and backgrounds about culture. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today. Today I want to talk to you more about one of the groups of students that I've been working with, a group of girls that are in the Sculpture Center in our choice-based classroom. They're working on a temple, I think a Mayan or Aztec temple in our cultural backgrounds. They are from a Mexican background. So they're directly from Mexico. Their families are descendants from Mexico, and they've been planning out their idea for this temple. There's 4 of them. They've been working very digitally. They have one group leader. She's been doing a lot of the math and how tall they want their artwork to be, what materials they want to use. And then the other ones are kind of like delegates, doing the work, kind of like worker bees, working on their materials. And today the girls came in around recess and were talking about how they wanted to build their structure. They started out with paper, which they feel very strongly about. I mentioned possibly working with sticks, but they are adamant about working with the paper. So we were discussing today how they would build their temple out of paper. One of the girls mentioned that they might build a frame out of maybe toilet paper rolls to kind of give it strength. One of the girls said they could use the toilet paper roll to make these rolls for like layers to build their temple with, which I thought was kind of interesting. One of the girls was thinking about math, so they took a ruler and measured how tall they wanted their temple to be. We can't make it too tall because we have some limitations on space in my classroom, so we have to think about how we can make this look like a temple, but it can't be too big. So we've been inquiring about that. I have been inquiring about how this temple is going to look and what is it going to be like. We've been looking at images of these different temples and what they're made of, what artifacts are on these temples. They noticed that there were some steps involved, and so some of the girls have been folding paper to try to make these steps, and it's been really interesting to see how that's working out for them. Structurally, I think that this is going to be kind of a challenge for them because I think they have an idea in their mind, but I'm not for sure how it's going to turn out. We'll see how that goes. The girls have been making these wonderful little tubes, and they're starting to build. They're using hot glue guns. They've chosen to work with hot glue because they think they can work faster with it. So they've set up an area to put their hot glue guns for safety measures, of course. We have a base, a cardboard base that they're working on that they've layered with these different colors of papers. And I've asked them, do you think that, the colors of these papers are going to play a factor into how this temple is going to look? And they really hadn't given it much thought, but as the recess time progressed, what they've come up with is that, Mexican culture is very vibrant in color, and so they don't want their temple to look like one of the Aztec or Mayan temples necessarily, even though it has a heavy guidance from that. They want it to be their own and more of an what we would call a modern, one of the girls said flashy, but I'm going to call it a modern look to it. So we're going to see how that looks and how that time progresses. I think it's turning out really well. They've started 2 of their layers. They had started 2 of their layers by the end of the class, so hopefully by the end of this lesson they are ready to go and can build something really elaborate. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. I love that they are coming in during their free time to kind of work, and they're looking at things and they're talking to each other, so they're working as a team. There's a lot of questions being asked between each other, a lot of research being done with, measuring a paper. How big does this need to be? Do you think this is strong enough? How are we going to make this? They've used these toilet paper rolls and they're wrapping paper around it to create the right size roll. So all of their rolls should be about the same diameter, which I think is kind of interesting. But lots of good stuff going on. I'm going to ask myself questions about how I can push them to make it look more realistic, or what direction they want to go with that. But as far as it stands right now, it's going really well. There's lots of questions being asked. There's lots of things going on, lots of research, and lots of planning, lots of math. They're kind of delegating that out as they need to go. So giving each other, kind of like a team leader. So giving each other jobs, team leaders, and then there's like a delegation of people below. One person is gluing, one person is making tubes, one person is making the steps. And they're all working together really well. This kind of reminds me of an atmosphere that you might have if you were working on a mural in a setting with other artists. You have to work together. You have to have a plan of attack. And so to me, this just is a great observation of how a choice-based art classroom is kind of working for you. The students are creating. They're creating something that they like, and they're coming in during their free time to do it. And so I'm really excited about that. And hopefully we can continue this process. We're in our first week of creating, and so two more classes or 2 more weeks that they'll have to work on these, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Good night.